Hello, welcome to On Trail, where we shot from Superfly Racing, and this is our first time having a fireside chat. Tell us a little bit about your history of mountain bike.
Well, it goes back a long way. Actually, my dad in 1983 he spent $1,000 on a mountain bike. It was the most expensive mountain bike sold up to that point for Bike Energy, and he kind of was at the vanguard of mountain biking. And then he got my brother a bike in '84, and I think by '85 my brother was racing. So that's the real inception of mountain biking in Ontario. I helped my brother with his first mountain bike event. It was called the Superfly, and it was actually at Durham Forest, and it was in '94. And it got 250 riders. And then we started in '98 at Nebraska Forest with the 24-hour. Once we moved to Albion Hills, it became a sellout event, and it's at 25 years now.
How do you start a conversation with a place that has trails, and you go up to them and say, I want to have a race here?
Well, oftentimes they don't have trails, actually, and we go to them and say, you have the blueprint. If we were to build mountain bike trails, we'd probably come up with an event concept. So that's how Nebraska started. They had a single track for motorbike, but we were the very first people who actually had permission on conservation lands in Ontario to build single track. And it was a bit of a thing back then. They didn't know much about mountain biking. And so in the case of Albion, they had no single track. We went there in the fall of '99 and built 6 different single track trails. And we've had a relationship with them for 23 years since. And it's been a wonderful relationship.
What other races do you guys have on the go?
I have other initiatives that aren't even mountain biking, like my winter obstacle event, Polar Rush, does over 2,000 participants, and monetarily does better than most of my mountain bike stuff, but my passion isn't mountain biking. And so I still love to run certain races. I'll be doing like a spring classic at Wood Newton again. Of course, I'm bringing Credit Shield back, and that's my big one. And it's a passion project as much as anything. Sault Ste. Marie's done a phenomenal job of garnering federal and provincial funds to build trail. And so they're doing the best job of anyone in Ontario by a long shot. They're putting in really high-end, really great flow trail. It's incredible trail that they have there, and they're building more. So it's just worked out great to bring people to the Sioux. It's just a slice of heaven not go in the country. So we're going back this year with a different format, a little bit more user-friendly. And you can do rider race only. You don't have to pay the full amount to stay on site and eat with us. You can pay to play and be a part of the award ceremonies and part of the after party at the famous Bush Flame Museum. And the riding's a big part of it, but the camaraderie you get from meeting new people and the whole overall experience is what people want. And it's a lot of fun doing it at Stokely Creek Lodge. Everybody at the end of the day gets together, shares their stories about how their ride went. And it just really, and if you're completely involved with the food and everything, you don't have to think about anything else. Like, you just show up, put your bike away, clean your bike, and you just sit back and have a beer and chill, have some great food, and then we always have a fun award ceremony, and it's very interactive. So it's a very unique event in the sense that you interact with people for the entire time. Yeah. I'm really excited for this year, and it's going to showcase more of Sault Ste. Marie's trail system because days 2 and 3 are focused on all that new riding. So it's more single track based than it was before.
How has racing changed in your mind?
People would have a fully rigid bike and it would get destroyed, but you just brush it off and it'd be fine with your calipers and whatever. But nowadays, if you take the new bikes that have like the cockpit with a billion different instrumentations on it, take them through events like that, it really trashes them. And so we've seen it go from like Ontario Cups at one point up to 1,000 people.
Wow.
So that was your main racing. And then 24-hour came in, introduced the camaraderie side of it, and really changed the way people looked at events and made it more festival-like. The 7-kilometer multi-loop isn't quite what everybody wants anymore, and the cycling population is aging dramatically. Now your 44 to 54 kind of categories are your peak categories. And those people are kind of tired of going around in circles, so they want slightly longer format stuff.
Oh yeah.
We saw huge drops in XC racing last year all over a lot of events, but we still had the biggest sellout we've ever had at 24-hour. Paris Ancaster was still huge. The Epic 8 hours are still great, and that seems to be what people want to do. And for me, I enjoy running the Epic 8. The Spring Epic 8 in Mansfield is a phenomenal event. It's at 22, 23 years now we've been running that. And it always has a minimum of 600 riders. And Glenn does a great job with the other 2 Epic 8s as well at Hardwood. Hardwood does a great job with their events. And that's where our focus is going.
Did you see enduro racing coming?
I see it as more of an out west thing, but it's starting to catch on in Ontario. And I just went up to Huntsville to watch what they were doing for a little, the HMBA that ran a little event, and I thought it was great. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And so I'm talking to Alex about bringing it to Crank the Shield, bringing his setup to Crank the Shield, and having 2 enduro sections per crank.
Where do you see racing going?
I see the 24 hours potentially hitting a 50th. And I can see the longevity in that because it has all the ingredients. I can also see 8 hours doing well, the point-to-points, festival type stuff that are really big and marquee, and maybe some prize money, maybe get some professionals out or whatever that would be. That's where I see it going more. I hope the Ontario Cup Series can survive and flourish, but I don't see it getting back up to its 800 people or anything like that. I could see stuff like that becoming more youth focused because there's still a lot of youth that want to get through the program.
Where can people find them?
Superflyracing.com. Right now there's a separate crankshield.com website. And then even my winter obstacle event, polarrush.ca, is a fun thing to do with groups. And I'll do group discounts, and quite a few mountain bikers come out just to support and have fun. It's just 5.5 kilometer run through Albion through the snow, and I make all these snowy obstacles, so that's fun. And if anybody has events that need support with, just get hold of me through Superfly. If it's anything events based, I've probably done it.
Thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out ontrail.ca to help spread the stoke. Hopefully we'll see you on trail.